Welcome back, guys. This is Python test driven development. In the last video we started writing code for our add spouse method, which is exactly similar to our add child method, and we had to end the video abruptly because I had to attend some important um, meetings. So I apologize for that, and in this video we are going to continue where we left off. And so without further to do, let's look at our tests. And this is where we had left off in test family tree. So we were doing an integration test in our add spouse method. Right? So if you guys remember, then add spouse method, if the tree is empty we get addition failed. If the tree is not empty, then member should exist. I mean sorry, the spouse should exist. If the spouse does not exist, we give person not found. If the gender does not match up, we give a spouse addition failed, as in the spouse cannot have the same gender as our gender, the member's gender. And if the spouse is already married, we again return a spouse addition failed. If all conditions work out, then we we set spouse for member and then create an entry and then return spouse addition succeeded, right? So first of all, we are going to create the wife of Zim. Since Zim does not exist in the family tree, the assert equal will give us spouse addition failed, right? So because Zim does not exist in the family tree. And if Zim does exist in the family tree, that's where we need to create member, right? So member will be 1. So we are going to have 3 members specifically, and let's call them spouse A, member 1, and this is going to be, and this the first case is when the spouse does not exist, and that is when catered for. The second spouse will have an invalid gender, and the third spouse will be already married, and the fourth spouse will be everything will be valid for that spouse. So spouse A will be called an invalid, I mean let's call him fake member, right? And that is because his gender is going to be male, it's going to be female, right? The next is going to be spouse B, who is also going to be a member, and this time this member is going to have a spouse B dot set spouse A, right? So this member is going to have a spouse. And finally spouse C is going to be our very own, is going to be male. By the way, gender is not a problem there. The problem is that he's already married. So let's add them to the family tree. By the way, I need to just check something is wrong over here. Instance of test family tree has no family tree. Self dot tree dot family tree, right? This is f tree dot family tree. Similarly here we're going to create entries for fake member, and that's going to be spouse A. This is going to be already married member, right? And sub dot f tree dot family tree already married member is equal to spouse B. And finally we create, sorry about that, we create family tree with a member called Let's just use double quotes, guys. It's just for better practice because I like using double quotes in dictionaries. And finally, we are going to create our member who is spouse A. C. So we are going to have 3 tests, and let's just delete all of these, right? So first, we are going to try and add fake member, right? This time we'll get spouse addition failed. By the way, do we have person not found as well? Right, sorry, that's supposed to be person not found actually. So if spouse does not exist, then we're supposed to have a person not found, not spouse addition failed. So it's going to be person not found. Then we have spouse addition failed with this is going to be already married member, right? And then finally, when we try to add, I mean, when we have this, we're going to get spouse addition succeeded because Zim now exists in the family tree, right? Seeded. So Zim now exists in the family tree, and if we try to add the same thing again, it will result in a duplicate, so we should get spouse addition failed. So first of all, let's test our, okay, we had been testing the integration test, that's why it passed last time. The unit test, okay, fine, we need to change our unit test. So I was wondering, since we got errors over here, we were not supposed to have actual values. What is wrong over here? Instance of test family tree has no f3. Oh, sorry, it's f3. So let's try and test that out. Expected call not found. So member one wife female. Oh, right. So I made a mistake over here. It's small l. Let's try it out. Spouse addition succeeded. So when we have fake member, then fake member's gender is female, and the fake member has a gender of female, right? So what should happen is when I try to add this over here, oh right, so I'm gonna have to do a gender female. Since this is a mock, guys, we are comparing enums, and if I compare a string to an enum, then this is going to be a problem. So whenever we create gender in mocks, we need to make sure these are taken care of. Let's see. Still okay. So let me go over here. Spouse.gender equals to member.gender. So member is wife. Let me just set trace over here. Should not return a so let us look at spouse.gender. It should be an enum, right? And member.gender should also be an enum. That is a male, which is why it failed. So let me go back to our unit test. And where have I used male over here? and it happened when I used fake member, right? So when I tried adding, I've never set the gender of wife to be male, so this is weird, guys. So when I create a dummy member, it's no longer mm, empty. So what's going to happen is it's going to create a fake member with this as the value, and spouse A is him, spouse B, spouse C. So first thing what I'm trying to do is I'm going to get the spouse name, and when I'm trying, okay, let me check that one more time. So member dot name is Zim. Why am I trying to add Zim? Okay, I think this is the problem over here. Gender dot female, and then we have Zim, which should not be found right now. This is weird. Yep. And now we get a member of, and let us look at member.name, and still Zim, which is weird for us. So where exactly does this fail? This fails when it comes to, oh, right, sorry guys, that is my bad. So here we have continue. Okay, the fake member should give us a, so we're trying to add fake members. This is supposed to be the name of the member, so I think I made a mistake over here itself. This is the name. How am I getting member as okay guys, 1 second, let me just have a look, proper look. So see, that's why I moved the whole thing to the next video, because I knew something was wrong and I didn't have the time to fix it. So how is this print vars member? One Zim mail. Sure, I'm doing a unit test, right? This is unit test. Okay, just 1 second. So whenever I do a unit test over here, okay, I think I understand now. Whenever I create a fake member, I return one Zim mail. So in add spouse, the first thing that it does is create a member, right? So I'm going to have to change that to wife female. and now things would work, because now at spouse what would happen is it would create a member called fake member, and then we would have thing properly done. Now again we have succeeded. That is not supposed to happen, guys. So this is actually where things get weird. So let us check from this side. Who is spouse? Spouse is nothing, right? Yep. Then next time the spouse should be the first time the spouse is nothing, and therefore we get spouse addition failed, or we get person not found. And then next time the spouse name should be fake member. Spouse dot name should be fake member, and spouse dot gender should be female, right? And our member dot name is wife, and member dot gender equals female, right? So we're supposed to return spouse addition failed, right? And how are we hitting addition succeeded? Because this is where we're supposed to land in. So let me just go over here real quick, and yep, it should give us a, if the gender matches, then we're supposed to get a spouse addition failed, which I've made sure we do over here. I mean, we return over here. Spouse.gender equals member.gender, which is false. Why is that? Spouse.gender is female and member.gender is female. Okay, so we need to have enums over here, because I created gender as male. Here it didn't affect add child because we don't really test the gender of the child, so that didn't affect us at all. But anyways, just to be sure, I mean just to be consistent, and now things should work. Things should work now. Yup, finally they do work. The same thing with our add spouse in the integration test. Now we will have a look at all the problems that we have. Yup, is not equal to person not found. So the add spouse and zim, this is what we get, right? pdb dot set trace, and let us try our integration test over here. And this is the error, right? So Zim should not originally exist in the family tree, and I should get a person not found for this. But somehow Zim exists in the family tree, some particular reason. I hope I didn't set it. Okay, I didn't set anything. You know what? We're gonna call him Zim2 for now. So we're supposed to have Zim2 over here. Also, guys, by the way, spouse C is supposed to be Zim2, right? And I think things should work pretty much now. Still, we get spouse addition failed because Zim2 supposedly exists in the family tree. Right, because family tree is empty basically, guys. That's the whole problem. We didn't need to add Zim2. The family tree is empty, that's the whole reason. Okay. So we have Zim here. The first part is supposed to give us spouse addition failed. Here. Then we're going to add a dummy member because our family tree will not be empty. Now we should properly get the values, and invalid gender for spouse and member cannot have the same gender. What? Sorry, that was because what happened was for Zim we had set fake member, that's why it was looking for it and it supposedly had female. That's the whole reason why we got an error. So if we have fake member over here and then we had male, so the gender matched. But then what happened was when we were trying to set value for spouse, all the way in member.py, if you look at set spouse over here, it looked for gender.spouse gender. So that's the whole reason why this problem happened, right? So one more thing we need to do, guys, is cater for these tests. So I mean cater for these errors. So whenever we add spouse, set spouse, do any of that, we need to make sure we do it within a try catch statement, because we will get a value error. Accept value error as error, and then we are going to we are just going to return child addition failed over here because of the value error, and the same thing over here, whatever we yeah, because members spouse and then spouse's spouse will be member, right? So accept value error as E, and we're just going to return spouse addition failed. So when that happens, we're not going to raise any errors, just going to not even accept it as E or whatever. I'm just going to do that, and now our integration as well as our unit test should work. Yeah, so our integration as well as our unit test both work, and now we will finally move into the get relationship. Now don't get confused between the get relationship for member or the get relationship for our spouse family tree. So get relationship is basically, it will call a member dot get relationship, which is over here, right? So guys, let us have a quick look at how get relationship works. So we're going to have a string name, which is the name of the member, then a relationship type. If the member does not exist, we give person not found. As for the result, we get the relationship for whatever has been mentioned over here, and if the result is an empty list, we return none. Otherwise we join the sorted result, and we'll sort it based on ID, because if you guys remember, the uh, members are supposed to be printed in the order that they have been added, right? So let us do that real quick. So let's create a test for test. It's going to be, so in this case we are not going to mock the constructor, we are actually going to mock the methods, because we need to know if the correct method has been called or not, right? As in our, sorry about that, what did I, yeah, so we need to know, as per our guidelines, when we call get relationship, we need to know if the correct relationship method has been called or not. Actually, we already have a unit test for that. So what we are going to do is we are going to just see if member.getRelationship has been called or not. That's it. So let us just create. So if we create a fake member, then the fake member is not going to have a get relationship method, and it's not going to return person not found or whatever, since it's not going to have that method at all. So we are not going to mock the constructor, we are going to mock the get relationship method over here. So let's just first create get relationship method, and we're going to mock family tree dot get relationship method, right? And we're going to have two side effects. The first side effect is going to be an empty list, and then we'll have a list. So let us create the empty list first, and then the next time it's called, we're going to have objects actually. So the objects will have ID. So we are going to create fake member over here. ID would be, 1 second, just look at member.id. Yeah, ID would be ID, right? Correct. it's going to have, let's have two members, id name would be Zim, then create fake member, id would be 2, name would be wife, let's say, right? So we have two members over here, those are the two values. So when we first create a self.f3.getRelationship, right? So we're going to say we want the relationship of Zim and we want all of his uh, let's say we want all of his brother in law. This is how we actually write brother-in-law, right? So you can have brother-in-law over here, then this would return us person not found because Zim does not exist in the family tree. Now we're going to create a fake member with an ID of 1 and name of Zim, and we're going to add that to the family tree. We're going to say Zim equals this guy. So now Zim actually exists in the family tree, but as you can see the relationship method has been mocked. So the first value we are going to get is a null value, right? So when we get a none value, we are supposed to get none, and the next time we call it, we are supposed to get two values in sorted order, right? So we are supposed to get, and we're only supposed to get their names, by the way. Yeah, we're only supposed to get their names. We're supposed to get Zim first and then wife second, sorted order and only names, right? So let us do that real quick. So def get relationship self name, and then we have relationship type, right? So first of all, member is going to be self dot family tree dot get name none, right? So if not member, will return person not found. So if the member does exist, then what we are going to do is we're going to do a result is equal to member dot get relationship, and the relationship type will go here, and then what we will have is we will first of all, whatever the result arrives, we'll have to sort it based on the ID, right? So if you don't know how sorted works, let me show it to you guys. So imagine let's create x with x is an object, y is an object, right? So let's say x dot a equals 1. Okay, so how do we, okay, let's create a dummy class and def init. We're going to have self dot a equals to a, right? So let's create 1 with 1 and y will be true. So x dot a is 1 and y dot a is 2, right? And now let us create a list where we have y and x. So if we have list, then first we have y and then we have x. So if you want to sort it, what we would do is we would have something called sorted. The first argument it takes is the iterable, and then we have key equals lambda key. Then we say based on what do we want to sort. So we want to sort based on the ID, right? So if you look at the memory address over here, these memory addresses will change. So no attribute, oh sorry, I mean a. So keys based on the object's a value, we are going to sort it. And as you can see, the memory value changed. So now what we can do is we can have a map and we can say lambda x dot name, I mean x dot a value. So this would give us an iterable. If we convert that to list, we should get 1 and 2. So in map what we did was we just returned a values rather than returning the whole object like this. Just returned a values. So this is the exact thing that we're going to do in case of result, but here what we're going to have is first when we sort it, we're going to sort results, and we're going to sort it based on the keys ID because we have IDs, right? Once that has been done, we are just going to give names. So we're going to return that. Let us just break this down, and there we have it. And our test get relationship takes one positional argument but two were given. I think I forgot to add one positional argument. What? Test get relationship. Okay, there's a problem in the unit test itself. Oh, right. Sorry guys. So this was mock get relationship. Forgot to add that. So now our unit test should. Okay. So we're supposed to get a person not found over here. The first thing is when we do get relationship, we are supposed to get person not found because it will create a member called Zim, and that member will not exist in the family tree. How did we get? Oh, right guys. So first we are supposed to get none value. So the first time we call get relationship, it's supposed to be an empty list. I mean not an empty list, but the member there is nothing in the family tree. So we don't get Zim over here. So there's no point of creating a new member and creating a new entry there. Just that when we get none, we get person not found. When we get empty list, we get none, and then when we have a list, we get the following value. So let's do that real quick, and we get. Okay, I think I didn't execute it properly. Okay, I think I just. Oh, my bad, guys. My bad. Sorry for that. Actually, we are supposed to create an entry, because in the first case what's going to happen is it's not going to find the member in the family tree, right? So I say zim and then get relationship. It's not going to call member dot get relationship. So guys, I made a mistake. I mocked this method out. I was supposed to mock this method out actually. I mocked this method out and the return type was basically an empty value. Therefore, I got an error. I was not supposed to mock this get relationship. Rather, I was supposed to mock the members get relationship, and that's when for that's when we get these values correctly. So now we have mock object is not iterable. Hmm. So we got person not found because the member did not exist. Now that the member existed, what happened was we were trying to get relationship of that method and then we got an empty list, and oh, right here, if not result we return none, else we return this value over here. So now our test should pass. Okay, we still get the same error. Where is that? So f3 dot get relationship, and sure we mocked that out. Let me just quickly import a PDB over here, set trace over here, then let me check. So the member is mock and the member, how is the, oh, because I created an empty, right. I was not supposed to do that. I created a fake member, guys. That's the reason. Because I'm not supposed to create because the fake member will not have a get relationship method. So what I can do is instead, so let me do this trick real quick. If I create a fake member, then I'm going to create a fake function as well. So I'm going to call it get relationship, which is going to be the actual get relationship function from member. So family tree, have I imported member here? Let me import member here as well. So it's going to be member. Okay, no, because this member basically belongs to our thing, our this scope, and since I'm mocking the member in this particular family tree, these two will not be the same. I mean, it will not be a mock anymore. So yeah, let's just create an actual member, guys. Let's just call him one zim male, right? And we don't have a member over here. Okay, so if I need to import member, then would the get relationship method still be mocked? Hmm. Okay, so these are completely different cases, guys. So okay, let's see. And member is going to be a family tree member, and member dot get relationship. If this is a mock, guys. Finally things are working out. So continue, and an empty value is not equal to none, right? So we got an empty value over there because we got an empty value for get relationship. Because we mocked that out. Okay, let me do a PDB real quick. So member dot get relationship is supposed to be this, and the result value should, sorry, I mean return value. Okay, this is weird. Return value is a mock. Hmm. See, guys, unit tests are real tricky. So the get relationship method is has been mocked, and the result is out. So let me see this. Does it go over here or not? Result is an empty list, right? Oh crap, man. Why is the result mock? The first value is supposed to be an empty list, guys. Okay, let's figure this out. Hmm. It's side effect. I keep making the same mistake over and over again, guys. It's not side effects, it's side effect. Now our test should pass. Yup, and it does pass. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you're understanding the whole thing. So I mocked the get relationship of f3.member, which has been used over here, which is in use over here. And so when I mock, this basically is uh, the same thing, as in like I add a family tree member here which has a get relationship method, and that get relationship method has been, just replaced with a mock, and as per the mock we get correct results and our tests are working. So now we're going to add an integration test, get relationship, right? And the test get relationship is, first of all, it's not going to find a member, so it's the same as the unit test. It's going to give us not found. Now we have a whole lot of setup to do, guys. So if you remember the setup we did, we are going to have to create, a member over here. It's going to be the same setup we did over here. I mean, we should even add these, right? So the member is still going to be Zim, mail and all that. Actually, you just need to check if we need to check if each and every relation is working or not. So yeah, we do not need to repeat ourselves actually. What we can do, guys, is in integration test we can actually just test the values without mocking anything. So you know what, we'll just create a member over here, and the member is going to be a member ID with Zim and then male. Since we already have a very intensive test of all the relationships, we don't need to check for each and every relationship because there's already an integration test for that, right? So let's just create some sons, and we'll have two sons and we'll have no daughters in this case, and son A will be a member of ID 2 and son B will be a member of ID 3. Can't have duplicates over there, male, right? So what we are going to get is, the first thing we are going to get is a person not found, and then let's just add entries for these guys over here. Is going to be the member. Then okay, let's do one thing. Member dot add child son A, then member dot add child son B, right? And then son A dot set father will be member, and son B dot set father will also be member. A simple setup. So we're going to create member for Zim over here, and the first thing that we're going to get is we're going to get a member, but okay, right, we need to create entries for the sons as well, and this is going to be son A and son B, right? Son A and son B. And what's going to happen is now we are going to get the relation of Zim, and we're going to say daughter, and this should give us none because there are no daughters, right? Whereas if we have son over here, we should get son A first, and then we should get son B first. So let us do one thing, let us add son B first, son A later, right? So let's do an integration test. Yep, and with that we have completed our family tree. In the next video we are going to finally set up our Geektrust handler over here. And with that, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please do hit the like button, and if you want more content from me, please press the subscribe button as well. It means a lot, and this is really my first video series on YouTube, so please forgive me if I'm a little, amateur while making videos, and if you find this boring, I will definitely try to improve on the quality. So with that, I leave you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.